Bible is full of much wisdom and many life examples, practical examples that we can apply in our personal life. And obviously some of those greatest teachings and parables and sermons, as we can call them, came from the life of Jesus. In the Gospel of John chapter 10, Jesus used this illustration by saying, I'm the good shepherd, and referencing us that we are the sheep. And him being the good shepherd, he brings us to green pastures, to still waters. He opens the gate, and allows us to walk in. But in this particular example, he talks about that Jesus being the good shepherd and compares himself, but there's a good shepherd and there's also a hireling. And I wanted to kind of give you a difference between what is a shepherd and what is a hireling. In this particular context, I want to say that the shepherds are leaders and hirelings are followers. And the thought that I want to share right now with you is this, that shepherds or leaders understand that they need to sacrifice their personal time, their personal desires and wants for the sake of serving others, while the hireling or the follower look for every possible excuse to focus on themselves. In other words, they're me-centered, they're not we-centered. And the thing is this, that, in the context of that scripture, Jesus is like, hey, look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to protect the sheep. And as I've read, mentioned to you earlier today, that shepherds, they're willing to sacrifice their time, their money, etc. And we understand that Jesus, being the good shepherd, the true shepherd, ultimately showed through the example of sacrificing his life for all of us, for you and for me. But then he uses the example by saying, but a hireling, as soon as the hireling sees trouble, like in that example, the wolf coming, the hireling's gone. It's like, man, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be out here protecting these sheep. I'm only getting paid for this one-time job. I'm not going to be sacrificing my life and trying to get bitten by these wolves. I'm out of here. And then the Bible continues to say that the wolf comes, gets a hold of some of the sheep, scatters the sheep, and things of that nature. So what I want to kind of, leave the thought with you is this, that this is very important. If you truly believe that God has called you to lead others, if you truly believe that God has called you to serve others, it does not matter where it is in what sphere of life. I'm not talking about titles and position. Okay, whether it's in your local church, whether it's in your work, in your business field, whatever the sphere of influence that God has placed you in, it could be in the government, it doesn't matter where it is, or even in the family, in the marriage, like in my case, we need to understand that when we carry the heart attitude and the spirit of a shepherd, same as Christ, and do the things that Jesus taught us, then those people that God brings into our life that are also like type of a sheep will be a blessing to them. But when we have a heart attitude of a hireling, we could care less. We're not going to see the needs around us. We're not going to want to serve others. We could care less what's happening in the world, what's happening in the society. And me and my wife had plenty moments in our marriage. As I make this recording, we've been married already for 18 years. Phenomenal marriage. We had a few bumps up and down, but overall, God has blessed me and spoiled me at the same time with my wife and my children. But throughout our 18 years of marriage, we had many situations where we had an opportunity to help somebody. Sometimes it was through our time. Sometimes it was through us physically helping somebody. Sometimes it was through having our house open, through to be hospitable, to invite people over, to have somebody stay over, like a guest speaker or whatever, other things. And also a lot of times, monetarily speaking, financially, whether it was just even as small as $20, and there were other occasions it was a lot more. And the thing is, it's very important for us to have this type of a heart attitude and this type of understanding of a shepherd, just as much as the example that Jesus showed us, because Jesus showed his heart and his servanthood, and he confirmed it by going upon the cross in the Calvary. And likewise, let us learn from Jesus to be those true shepherds, leaders, and not those hirelings like the followers. They could care less about what's happening in the world, what's happening in their community, in their family, in the local church, or just overall overall. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful to you. Let us learn how to walk in the shoes of Jesus, to be like Jesus, and to do like Jesus. All right, until next time, my friend.